Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do a video of what I got in my scrap box this time. Starting with the bandages, there's that many. It really wasn't an awful lot. I think that's a piece of waterproof canvas, but I'm not really sure. Everything else was sort of bits of cotton lycra and fleece and other stretchy stuff. This is the pieces of fabric that I'm not going to use. So there's a very small piece of double gauze. I don't know what this is. It's very thin, very floaty. It's got a bit of stretch, but it's more give than stretch in all honesty. But it is a big bit of whatever it is. That's doubled over. So it is in fact 25 inches. So I wouldn't use it for anything, but I'm sure somebody will love it. There's a very small piece of this. If nothing else, it's quite nice to see what it looks like. It's stretchy, stripy. More of this very thin, stripy stuff that you can get in several colours, and they seem to be coming up in the scrap boxes a lot. A very tiny piece of, I don't know what it is. This is thin, see-through, no stretch. Again, it's a fairly big size piece. It is 26 inches. So useful for whoever wants that sort of thing, but it's not something I would use. I'm not quite sure why this isn't in the bandages, but it is a very small piece of French terry. Nice to see what it looks like. This is very thin, stretchy. It's see-through, it's so thin, and it's very stretchy. It's not something I would ever buy, but somebody might find a use for it. And this piece is, again, 26 inches. There's a piece of, it feels like brushed cotton, in a creamy colour, with another piece attached onto it, sort of a couple of inches attached onto it. So the main piece is 8 inches. Another little piece of double gauze. This is very pretty, but it's not a fabric that I use, and that's about 6 inches. There's 2 strips of the cannabis cotton poplin. This one's bright colours and this one's green. They'd be perfectly good for something, but I'm not making stuff at cannabis fabric. This, to me, it's like a tablecloth or very swanky serviettes, and there's a couple of pieces in it. They're both about 19-20 inches. So if you wanted to make nice linen, I don't know if it's linen, but nice white serviettes for something, they'd be great. Oh, actually, there's 3 pieces of it. Oh, I think this is called Oxford Polycotton. So there's a piece of that. Again, it's not something I'd use. And that is 16 inches. There's a huge, in fact there's 2 huge chunks of this. That one's not quite as big. It's sort of pale greeny, I don't know if that's any help, sort of greeny that side, and it's dark on the back. It's a bit too slippery for me. That's a biggish piece, but this is really big. You know, it's huge. So somebody will be able to make something with that. Maybe cushion covers or something. So those ones I don't really have a use for. These ones I'm going to keep and hopefully use them to for the little girls in school to try and make some of these Sussex puff ball things, scarves and whatever. So this is a very light and sheer shiny stuff, maybe Georgette. It's a lovely shade of blue, and it's 15 inches. There's a thin strip of this, which again I think is Georgette. It's again very pretty. 8 inches, 7 or 8 inches of that. This is quite heavyweight. I think it's probably satin. It feels lovely. Maybe it's taffeta, I don't know what it is, but it's shiny and it's very good quality, and a lovely shade of purple. That's 5 inches. This is the same fabric in teal, which is also about 5 or 6 inches. This is, I think it's polyester. It's got a label on it, and it, oh, do you know what? It says it's 100% cotton. So apparently this is 100% cotton. It's Air Force blue, I would say. It's quite nice. I might put that into my little cotton pile of things to keep. And this is that, it says it's peach polyester. It's quite nice when they actually say what it is on there, but it does mean that it's not much use. So those are the pieces that are, I think when you do the puff ball scarves, you use little circles that are about 6 inches. So these sort of slippery shiny bits, the little girls in school will be able to use those. So I'm going to start collecting those up for a project for next year. So I'll be keeping those ones. Little pile of pieces of cotton. 7 inches, 8 inches. I'm not quite sure what that is. I think it might be some sort of shirt material, but it's quite a big piece. So it might be good for bag lining or something. I don't know what this is. I really don't know what fabric that is, because it's not stretchy, and it kind of feels crispy, but I'm going to try and find it on the website. That I think may be waterproof canvas, not quite sure. That one, I don't know what it is. I was going to look it up on the website and see what it is, but actually it's very pretty, but it's, you know, it's about 10 inches, but it may be useful for something. I've seen this on the website in several different colours, and actually it's much nicer in real life, so it'll be a jolly little something. That's enough to make a little purse. Piece of plain black. Plain is always useful. This again is much nicer in real life than it looks on the website. Sort of, what's it called? Chains and something or other it's called. And not a huge piece, maybe 10 inches, but useful. A very small piece of the camo, but I've got that camo, so I might be able to use that for straps or something. A little piece of the flamingo, which I've avoided because I don't really buy stuff with white backgrounds, because it's usually see-through, and that just annoys me. But actually this is not too bad. You can't really see through it. Just wondering if I put that one behind. Yeah, I mean you can see there's a dark thing behind it, but you can't see the design on the piece behind. So actually the flamingos is much better than I had anticipated. There's a little strip of the yellow spot. There's another little bit of this yellow stripe. There's a bit of pale lilac. This floral stuff. Quite a lot of these have got labels and bits of sticky tape on them, so you won't get the whole piece, but you'll get plenty out of it. This I love. I've already got this, and to get another 15 inches will be very, very useful. I think it's really pretty. This maybe that Panama or some sort of canvas. Again, I'm going to look and see what it is. I'd probably get a little purse out of that. Another piece of plain black. This, I think it might be the Cotton Touch fabric, but I'm going to have to check. I'm not sure. It doesn't feel like cotton, but it's a very small piece, but it's nice to see what it's like. There's a piece of plain cream and a piece of plain pink, which I think are both cotton. I got an extremely useful piece of wadding. So that's nice. I was pleased to get that. These are the cotton lycras I got. When I took the photo to put on the website, I'd missed some of them out because I'd moved them to a different pile. So ones that I'm planning on keeping are this one with the little foxes on, because I've got a plan for that. This one with some minions on it, and this is, I think it's called Melange, I'm not quite sure. This is made by Poppy, and again quite a nice size piece, about 12 inches. So those three I'm planning on putting by for the sewing club at school for the little girls next year. If we've got some new ones join us, they can make snoods. The ones that were in this year have already made snoods. This one is probably a little bit too grown up for the girls, but it's really, really nice quality. And 12 inches again, but that is good enough to make a snood if somebody was, you know, if an adult wanted to. Little piece of spaceships. Because for some unknown reason we're not actually attracting boys to the sewing club, that may or may not be used, but I'll hang on to it anyway. And then I got three nice bright plain colours, and I'm going to give these to somebody because I keep telling her about Pound Fabrics and she has absolutely no faith in the quality, and she spends an awful lot of money on fabric, and I said you need to try it. So I'm going to give her these so she can actually have a feel and try them out. So that's a fairly small piece, but the big pink and the red are good sized chunks, and some of the other colours are a bit dull. There's teal, there's lots of this sort of khaki colour, which isn't really my cup of tea. So I'll pass those on. There's also black. That black is like the other black, it's really thin, so I don't think it is actually cotton lycra. I think it's just some sort of stretch fabric, but I wouldn't use that because it's too thin. There's a bit of petrol blue, a bit of dusky pink, and another bit of petrol blue, but these are quite big pieces. You would get a t-shirt out of those. This is very pretty. Again, it's by Poppy, and there is, where are we? 14 inches of that. So you could make something for a small person, or you could make a t-shirt and use that for sleeves and the collar and armbands or the waistband. So that's actually a useful size piece. I don't think the little girls in school would use it, which is why I'm going to pass it on, and I don't think they'd use that, so I'm going to pass that on as well. And then there was fleece. So this, I would not have picked this colour off the website. I would have thought it was absolutely hideous, but actually I can't describe the colour. It's like a teddy bear. It's lovely, and there's 20 inches of that. It does have a hole in it, but that and that just go perfectly together, which is why I'm going to put those into the pile for school. This seems to be coming up in the scrap boxes an awful lot, and it's like bubbly fleece. I don't know what it actually is. Actually, it's fabulous. If I'd kept all the pieces, I probably had enough to make a dressing gown. I've had so much of it, but I have passed those all on because I wasn't really likely to use them. This piece is 23 inches. This one's bigger. I'm not going to open it up. I'm too lazy. Absolutely love this little owl fabric. And there's 15 inches of that. So again, I'll keep that for the little girls in school because I think they'll probably use it. There's a royal blue piece. This fleece is absolutely fabulous quality. It's got plenty of stretch that way and that way. And that piece is 20 inches. So again, nice big piece. And there's a smaller piece, about 10 inches of the dark purpley one, and 17 inches of the lilac. So again, they'll be really useful next year in the sewing club. So that's everything I got in this scrap box for £7 plus postage. And of course I had to buy some fabric as well to justify the postage, but I'm not even going to tell you how much of that I bought, but it was way too much. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll send you the next one when it happens.